Is this Sox prospect ready to make a big impact on the big league club in the second half of 24? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Sea Radio. My name is Corbin, and right now there is a prospect in AAA by the name of Nick Sogard who's kind of having a bit of a breakout season so far this year, and I feel like not enough people are talking about it, so we are. In today's video, we are breaking down why Nick Sogard has sort of broken out this year. We're talking to Nick Sogard himself about his approach and his changes coming into the 2024 season, and of course, we're talking about what kind of impact Sogard could possibly have on the 2024 Red Sox. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. Okay, so first things first, let's actually talk to Nick Sogard himself. We're going to talk to him about what changes he made in terms of his approach at the plate that is really working out really well in 2024. Now, there is one thing I want to point out here because I know people are going to say it. I told Nick that he has less strikeouts this year than he does last year. That is not the case. It's actually an increase of strikeouts by about 4%. Now, I had memorized his walk rate and just did not memorize his strikeout rate. I thought I had. It was his walk rate that I was talking about. So my apologies on that. I'm a bit of an idiot, but either way, it's a great interview. So here is Nick Sogard. So we're here with Red Sox prospect Nick Sogard. Obviously, you've been doing pretty well so far this year, but I want to take you back a little bit towards spring training. And the first question I want to ask is, it was your first spring training with the big league club. You kind of killed it. You come into the season. Obviously, those stats don't end up on the back of a baseball card, but is there anything too in terms of the mentality or the approach coming into a season when you do well like that?
You mean coming out of spring doing well?
Yeah.
I kind of treated it as just a completely new year, so I felt like I had kind of a different approach to my game this year compared to the year before, and it worked out pretty well in spring, so tried to just carry that over to the regular season this year.
Yeah, and then so you're kind of like the most versatile prospect in the Red Sox system. You play everywhere in the field, you hit on both sides of the plate. Is there anything that you would consider to be your standout attribute?
I don't really know if there is one that stands out. You know, I think there's some guys that have like a real carrying tool, and I don't know if I have one of those that's incredible, right? But I think the value in me is that I can do a lot of different things, you know, pretty well. So that's kind of what I like to try and take pride in.
Absolutely. And then sort of going into this season, you've really done well increasing your power numbers. You've hit more home runs right now than you have the entirety of last year. Was that something you tried to do over the offseason, looking towards?
Yeah, definitely. I think improving bat speed and just general strength, and that was definitely a big goal of mine in the offseason, so it's been nice to kind of see some of that show up.
Yeah, and then one of the other things you've also improved on is your strikeout rate as well. That's gone down a bit. Is that also something you look towards, or did that just sort of come with the new approach with the power?
You actually I felt like I've been striking out more, so that's cool to know it's been less. So yeah, no, that wasn't necessarily a target. I feel like bat to balls and knowing the zone is a strength of mine, so that's cool that it's less. It feels like more, but that's good.
Yeah. And then is there a favorite position you like to play on the diamond at all, or you just sort of anywhere you want to put me?
I'm cool with wherever, man. I like playing shortstop. Shortstop's fun. I like second and third. I like sprinkling in the outfield. I'm good to go wherever. First base, brand new.
Yeah, so you tried it out. Yeah. What was the transition like going over to first base?
I mean, I've only had that one game, and it went fairly smooth except for that little pop-up, but yeah, it's fun. It's good.
So we'll ignore the pop-up going forward.
Sure.
And then just to sort of wrap this up real quick, because I don't want to take too much of your time here, just a couple of quick rapid-fire questions. Okay. David Ortiz or Ted Williams?
David Ortiz.
David Ortiz. Easy, no thought?
I mean, growing up, I watched a lot of the Red Sox games. For me, if I had to pick a Red Sox player, Pedroia was obviously my guy, but I would pick Manny Ramirez. That's my all-time favorite Red Sox player.
That's a pretty easy pick to make. And then would you rather hit for a cycle in a big league game or have a 3-home run game at the big leagues?
3 homers.
3 homers? Yeah, that'd be a really cool thing to do.
Yeah.
And then finally, would you rather have the best contact in baseball or the best power in baseball? You can keep the rest of your attributes. They all say the same, just one goes up.
Okay, then I'll do power. Yeah. I feel like that. I mean, it's been showing up better this year, but I think the rest of my attributes cater more towards the contact style. So maybe the best power with my play style would be a good combination.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, man. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Before we get into our breakdown here, do me a favor. If you haven't already, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button. We talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Just helps these videos out a ton. It's the best way you can let me know you're enjoying the content we are putting out. Thank you all very much for taking a second and doing so. Let's break down what Nick Sogard's done this year. Okay, so a huge thank you to Nick Sogard for taking the time and talking to us. They had just come off of a game where it was a 2-hour rain delay. We came in there and it was super crappy weather out, so for him to take the time and talk to us was really kind of him. But the biggest takeaway I had from this interview was obviously the emphasis he put on increasing his power coming into the 2024 season, because coming out of 2023, he didn't have a bad season at all. He was just lacking a bit in the power department. He finished 23 with a 391 slug in 112 games, a 370 on base percentage for a 97 WRC plus, right around league average, specifically 3% below league average production. He was still making pretty decent contact with an average of 266, but again, you take a look at that slug number and sitting below 400, you were lacking in the power department a little bit. He finished the year with 7 home runs, 47 RBIs, and 20 doubles in 112 games. Now again, that isn't terrible numbers at all. It's nothing that's going to be like, man, this guy stinks, right? But it was good for about 3% below league average production. Well, he put that emphasis on power coming into 2024, and right now it is translating incredibly well, because so far this season, he has a 294 average with a 409 on base percentage and a 467 slug, which is an increase in slug of over 70 points. This is also good for a 130 WRC plus, about 30% more productive than the average hitter in AAA. Not only that, but it is currently the highest WRC plus of his entire career so far, and it's a jump in production of about 33%. He already in 67 games has 9 home runs, 39 RBIs, and 15 doubles, which puts him on pace to blow past his totals from last year and easily on pace to set career highs in all 3 of those categories. He's on pace right now over, again, we'll say 112 games because that's what he played for the Red Sox last year. That would be 15 plus home runs, 65 plus RBIs, and 25 plus doubles. Now again, I'm the idiot that looked at the walk rate instead of the strikeout rate, so he is sacrificing a little bit more swing and miss for that power production, but it's nothing super crazy. It's an increase of, again, just under 4%, jumping from 17.2% in 23 to 21.1% in 2024. He's still not striking out a ton, and that strikeout rate is still looking pretty considering how much emphasis he's put on power. But what has really been impressive so far this season for Nick Sogard is the fact that he's also been able to increase his walk rate. He went from a 13.7% walk rate in 23 to a 15.4% walk rate in 2024. Being able to increase your walk rate while also increasing your power is a fantastic sign, right? Because obviously most players, when they go in and they start to hit for more power, they're sacrificing swing and miss, and they're sacrificing more strikeouts. While Nick Sogard is doing that, he's also increased his ability to get on base. Looking back at those on base percentages year to year, he went from a 370 on base percentage to a 409 on base percentage, which is an increase of almost 40 points on the season. That's really impressive if you consider how much emphasis he's been putting on power. And when I talked about him being probably the most versatile prospect the Red Sox have, I really wasn't kidding. This season, not only is he increased his power numbers, he's increased his walk numbers, and that contact ability has also increased as well. And this is coming from both sides of the plate. Nick Sogard is a switch hitter, meaning he's producing for the Red Sox as both a lefty and a righty this season. And defensively, I don't think it gets more versatile than so far this year, having played first base, second base, third base, shortstop, left field, and right field. He's quite literally doing it all right now for the Worcester Red Sox. And for me, looking at what kind of impact he could have on 2024, this is why I start to get a bit excited about Nick Sogard, because the Red Sox are starting to enter the dog days of summer, right? Heading into the All-Star break, coming out of the All-Star break. There's going to be some really tough stretches here for the Sox, and to have a prospect in AAA who could fill in and serve basically any role you want him to fill or need him to fill is going to be incredibly valuable. That's why, to me, I'm sitting here and I'm saying, man, Nick Sogard, if he continues to produce at this breakout pace, could be a guy that we see make an impact at the big league level in the second half of 2024. Now, the other part of this too is that he's not only increasing his value to the big league club in terms of how he could impact this team, he's also increasing the value of his worth in terms of trades. Now, I want Nick Sogard to make an appearance with the Red Sox, but because he is a Rule 5 draft pick by the end of 2024, the Red Sox are going to have to make a decision here as to what way they want to go, and it could be possible that the Red Sox decide by this year's trade deadline he's more valuable to this team and by way of trade than he is by way of promotion, which again would still have a big impact on the 2024 Sox. Now, I'm not sitting here and saying that if Nick Sogard gets called up, let's say mid-August with a Romy Gonzalez hamstring injury or something like that, that he's going to blow the roof off of the Boston Red Sox, but I am really high on who Nick Sogard could be, and the reason for that is because his potential right now, especially with the added power and the versatility he brings to the plate, is that sort of everyday Swiss Army knife type bench role player, right? Sort of similar to what we saw from prime Brock Holt, where Brock Holt played basically everywhere on the diamond and was able to impact the game at the plate as well. If the Red Sox were able to get that type of production from one of their bench bats, they could be in a really, really great spot, and that's why I'm so high on Nick Sogard, and that's the biggest reason why I think there is a legitimate chance he makes an impact at the MLB level in 2024. And it's not like the Red Sox need to give him a full season in AAA before they decide whether or not he's ready. He's already played the full season in AAA last year. This will be his second full season in AAA this year, and I think in terms of development-wise, 2024 feels very realistic to see him make his major league debut. I'm all in on who Nick Sogard could be at the plate. I think it's really impressive that he came in to the 2024 season, was basically able to fully turn his ability to hit the ball gap to gap and over the fence completely around to the point where he's already surpassed what he was able to do in 112 games last year in 67 games this year. And I'm really excited to see what the rest of the season has in store for Nick Sogard. Again, this to me is a guy you should absolutely keep an eye on as we get into the dog days of summer for the Boston Red Sox, but that is just my opinion. So let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think? What do you think about what Nick Sogard has done this year and his approach at the plate? What do you think of the interview, and what do you think his impact on the 2024 Red Sox could look like? Let me know all your thoughts on Nick Sogard in the comment section down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Sox almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. It just helps out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Don't forget, you can always get these episodes available anywhere you get podcasts, whether you want to listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, which the links to those are in the description down below, or head over to your favorite podcasting app and look up Red Seat Radio. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you all in the red seats.